Okay. So the moment it's not working, they're trying to fix it, but they have to fix it on their side. But if it's not fixed, it would be good if you could just say something in English to people who are listening, because they'll be hearing it in French. And they were saying, listen, we have a little hiccup now,
For English speakers, you've got the headsets and nous vous invitons à prendre place, messieurs, dames.
Please be seated, ladies and gentlemen.
So there's a small problem on the line, but we're working to solve it. Please bear with us.
Messieurs, dames, chers amis, nous vous
Dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, could you please be seated before we start with our annual general meeting?
Bon, on fait ça, puis on fait ça et puis on dit quand c'est fixe.
Oui. Tu veux que j'y vais là-bas et que tu me fais un signe?
Moi, je suis bon, donc salut Xavier, ça fait longtemps, ça va?
Moi, je peux mettre là et tu me fais un signe pour t'aider, et comme ça on lance le premier.
Moi, je suis prêt. Tu veux commencer quand? Elle veut commencer quand? Nous commençons l'Assemblée générale dans une minute.
We will start in a minute. Could you please be seated? Thank you.
Je rends des services. Je rends des services. Bonsoir à tous.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you to be here present in Paris and to be online for this 140th annual general meeting for HEC Alumni. And it will be extraordinary for several reasons. Because you are here, we are expecting 400 people here in Paris and 400 online. And Adrien will confirm it. I think we're breaking a new record.
You may have access to headsets if you want to follow the General Assembly in English, and online I heard we had little hiccups probably that have been fixed, so you probably are connected to the right channel and can follow everything in English.
The main reason why we are here tonight, of course, is to talk about HEC and HEC projects. May it be the first time that you are here online or present here in Paris, and there are 250 of you graduates with us tonight. It will be a great opportunity for you. Be it the 30th time that you're here, Patrick Lussin can confirm that it was his 40th annual general meeting, and maybe some are breaking a new record as well. So this general meeting is open to all HEC alumni. Everyone can take part in it. First, to have a great cocktail during the cocktail party, but also to learn more about HEC projects, the projects of the association, and why not commit in the the next few years. So of course there will be different highlights, the more reports by our chairman, another highlight by Jean-Paul Lagon, and of course the financial report, results on the vote for the resolutions, and the announcement of the new president or chairman or woman of the association. Allow me to welcome someone that comes from the class of 2007, and this is Adrien Correa, of course. Good evening, everyone. How are you all doing? I feel great. I am delighted to be here with you tonight because it will be the opportunity to look back on 2022. It was a very rich year. I am delighted to welcome you all here. We are a community, you, the volunteers, but also the representatives of the school, Loïc Perrache and Jean-Paul Lagon, the representatives of the association, Olivier Sadilla, and Daniel Council, Daniel Bernard as well, the representative of the association, and of course the members of the committee. And I would like to greet former presidents of former associations of alumni of our schools, Micha Bondin, Yves Couillard, Maurice de Noël, Jacqueline, who's following us online, Stéphane Vareg, Jean-Marianne, Emmanuel Chan, Martin Igonet, and Xavier Ramate. So they all show the that we share throughout the generations. I would like to applaud the Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Paris. Mr. Ratacci is in the room. Hi, Stéphane. And I am delighted to be with you again. Many of you have told me so earlier on. We are here in a place of tradition. We are delighted to be back at the Chamber of Commerce and Industry. It embodies the link between our association and the Chamber. And that is the reason why I would like you to give a round of applause to the chair and the president of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I am much smaller, so I have to put the mics down. I will not ask you how are you doing because I heard that you were all doing great. That's amazing. No, Stéphane is not here to keep an eye on what's happening tonight. He is fully part of the community. There he is. Ladies and gentlemen, presidents, chairs of the school, former presidents, you, Olivier, and Dominique Christino. So I'm part of this community as well. I was fortunate enough to be educated here. It was not the original training course, but you said that all HEC members were welcome. So thank you for welcoming me. So I'm delighted to welcome you here at the Chamber of Commerce and Industry Paris and Ile-de-France because in 1881, and I would like to thank all my predecessors who created this school in 1881. So this bond is unwavering. We see each other on a regular basis because we want to keep building and reinforcing this relationship with the school, alumni, the foundation, all stakeholders, including the chamber. Because we are a shareholder at about 90% almost, but being a shareholder is not what matters most, it's what we will continue to build together. Let me also add that we are fully aligned. We will continue to move forward together so that you can keep working on beautiful projects in the future. And I would like to wish you a very happy birthday, or happy anniversary, because this year the association will celebrate its 140th anniversary. You don't look the part. So I would like to thank all of you who are working hard in the teams. I've known some of them for 10, 20, 30 years, and I would like to thank them all for So loyal. Enjoy the evening. Thank you, Dominic, for your introductory remarks. Before starting the annual general meeting, I would like us, fellow graduates and fellow alumni, that we remember all of us who have disappeared since the last annual general meeting. And I would like us to share our thoughts with them. How can we not talk about the disappearance of Denis Kessner? He was 71 years old after fighting against an unfair disease. It is hard to attribute to Denis. He was so talented. Denis was an economist. HEC professors said he was the only one who could actually understand finance. And he was one of the very first to talk about savings in the private space. Denis was also a committed intellectual person. He was also working on ideas that were fundamental in the past 40 years. His idea was that the companies need to be part of the societal transition. He worked at AXA and the French Federation of Insurance Companies. He promoted the risk culture when the country was not ready to listen to that. Denis was also an industrial captain. For 20 years, he made his insurance company a global leader. But with all these skills, he was one of the most important leaders. And I would like to point you to the man he was. In 2016, when he was in charge of the graduation ceremony, he told our young graduates the following. Our generation, the one of the baby boomers, achieved a great deal. But its inheritance is a lot of challenges for the next generations. Each generation should leave the world in a better state for the future generations. Do it by bearing your responsibilities. Do it by cherishing freedom. Now to contribute to Denis and our other fellow alumni disappeared, I would like you to stand up, please, for a minute of silence.
Je vous remercie.
Thank you. My dear fellow alumni, I am delighted to share with you the yearly report of our association for 2022. This is the end of the second term for me, and I'm saying that on behalf of the whole committee that's supporting the association. It was a remarkable year in terms of projects and in terms of influence. It was a unique influence for our community throughout the world. I would like to start by thanking all the volunteers because you are making our network active. You are taking part in our different bodies, our clubs, our hubs, chapters, commissions, committee, but also the association, for example, in the campaign committee, or at the school by mentoring people, or by taking part in classes. What did 2022 mean for us? It was a year of reunion after the lockdown. It sounds far, but it's not that far. About 1,000 events organized throughout our community. I've been told 25,000 registrations, but I know that many people did not register. And we should also note that there are more and more participants from international chapters. 2022 also marked a lot of highlights. I was fortunate enough to welcome young graduates in September. I will also visited regions like Hauts-de-France and Lyon, and the first gathering after a long time in the United States after the pandemic. I visited the New York chapter and the Montreal chapter. 22 is a source of pride for our community. Jean-Paul made it to as the head of the school, and he will tell us about his takeaways and closer bonds with the association, the school, foundation on large projects like the HEC UK House, the gala dinner with a record fundraising activity, and closer bonds in daily projects. For example, in the professor community, who are members of our association, with the students, I mentioned mentoring earlier, and among teams, for example, HEC Talents and HEC Love Project. 2022 also show unique events. For example, the white paper on diversity with 7 co-authors, young and older ones. And it was presented during the COP21 and at the Minister for Ecological Transition with Minister Agnès Pannier, who is a fellow alumni from 2022. I would like also to applaud the HEC Transition Actions because it advocates for the association in favor of environmental issues. And there are other topics that we continue working on, for example, HEC Ventures, a pioneer when it comes to alumni funds. Other schools are trying to copy us. HEC Ventures has just signed a very high number of agreements. And we will also talk about HEC stories, of course, and we will talk about gender equality. And of course, solidarity also marked 2022. Our community was very much involved to support our Ukrainian fellow alumni. And during the very last graduation, we heard a very moving testimony from a Ukrainian graduate, and she urged us to continue supporting them. Our association is also transforming, developing itself, because our community is transforming and developing. So they need you, your support, your membership fee, because it is an engine of our model, your support to HEC Stories, because the subscription is fundamental, and your volunteering efforts, and the time that you offer us by supporting us. Of course, I don't want this moral report is too boring for you, so I would like to add to this moral report and give the floor to some of the committee members who are very much involved and committed. And I would like to give the floor to Veronique Arab, Vice President of HEC Alumni, and the Network Commission President. Thank you very much, Adrien. Good evening, everyone. I am delighted to have the opportunity to be here tonight and to be able to tell you about how dynamic our network is. So one piece of evidence is the high number of events, over 1,000 events in 2022. Some of them hybrid, so streamed throughout the world. So we can applaud all the work of our 81 chapters with 19,000 members, so more than 30% compared to 2019. So quite an impressive growth. But the achievements of our network are not limited to our events. The network also means projects led by our clubs, and I will mention a few. First and foremost, the Governance Experience Dictionary, and of course the Audacity Prize Award, or the Mercury Prizes, who have reinvented themselves. They've become international, and they made it possible for you to award a prize to distinguished members of several regions of the world. There are more than 1,600 active volunteers within our network. So you are making this network a quality network. It makes it a great service to the whole community and also a competitiveness lever that is fundamental to our school. The commission that I am co-chairing helps the network be dynamic. Of course, I'm not the only one. There are 14 volunteers working with us, and I would like to applaud them for their efforts, and 5 permanent staff members. The ambition of our commission is very simple: connecting all alumni by creating added value within our community. Let me give you a few examples of our priorities. First, supporting our volunteers. For example, with better tools. Second priority, making sure our network and the school are closer and closer with club and generational clubs. Third priority, pulling all resources together of our network, because this is fundamental. And last but not least, continue to develop our international involvement, because our network is becoming more and more international. I hope that I have given you some insights regarding our network, and last year there was something quite representative of the influence of our network throughout the world, and that is the inauguration of our new UK house. It is located in the centre of London, and it is a point of contact for a lot of people in London and going through London. David Tribble and Delphine Moore will join me on stage to tell you more about the UK house.
Merci Véronique, merci Adrien. extra. C'est le troisième gala que je organise et attention, il y a des simples, c'est le plaisir de se retrouver ensemble.
I'm a concern of diversity at HEC. It shows the openness of the school and the fundraising of HEC to support the program Eloquencia HEC in order to promote the talent from all backgrounds and walks of life. He was a perfect alumni. We are very happy and satisfied that we have a great time together. This location is absolutely incredible and we're very happy to be
J'en profite pour remercier tous les alumni.
I'd like to thank all the alumni who have taken part in this activities as well with their donations. I suggest that you take part in the next event, of course. Chair of the HEC Alumni, and she will tell us a bit more about this 50th anniversary of diversity at HEC. You can see in the back of the room that some are not sitting please come forward so some of the seats left. Please do not hesitate, you will be more comfortable. Please go ahead. Thank you very much. 51 years ago, HEC was already located in a boys' school only. HEC for young girls created women, which allowed them to access the business world. But in 1973, HEC Young Girls closed its door. Even the name is weird. So, do you talk about HEC boys or little boys? No. Anyway, the HEC attempt to access the school was open to women. 50 years have passed and the condition of women in the home have changed. HEC has contributed together with its alumni. Our struggles and our fights have allowed us to push boundaries that to showcase 54 traits which have been shared every week since the 8th of March. We will culminate on the 29th of major festival and very inspiring evening together. And the objective is to send and pass some messages for the future so that there is no problem. So we will talk about men and women independent of this. So a new name for this movement more aligned with about diversity and men and women gender equality. And we also want to achieve equality because of the school and our ambitions to gender equality is no pipe dream, it is a major challenge and it is also indispensable. It is equality when it comes to inclusion so that diversity is there. And it will also be an opportunity to realize in our commitment so that we can support women's excellence as well. Right now is the turn of HEC Adventures and
Alors, un mot sur
venture plant in France has since been 3 years after its launch, what can you say? 18 companies based in France, Singapore, Germany, and the United States. They all have an HEC dimension with members in their here again, I have plenty of good memories here. Very anything that has to do with the community HEC Alumni. Content on our magazine online. Any of the visuals for digital advertisement to try and to share our contents. This is an alignment. 3-year business plan with 2 years of investments first and then a significant growth. Since 2021, crisis and has impacted so this was the also for the advertisement market, especially printing. Increase of what is very in the convenience of the and nowadays it's a luxury to be able to publish a paper journal. And there are subscriptions for the these subscriptions have been included subscriptions unfortunately at the end we are starting to pay subscriptions. Making so concentrating on digital more. You will see social networks and social websites, a collective initiatives that we will implement with HEC stories to also concentrate on profitable trips and some of our partners in order to come up with more HEC mornings, which were actually very successful, may come back. So, school because the school gives us an edge in our contents and support the public that we have. So we are in a pivoting phase, reaching phase, and we are in the rejigging, redigging our right balance again. Support the various initiatives of the HEC studies with follow-ups on social media. Subscribe again. It's wonderful magazine. Behind me, so this migration to make sure that we alumni community users and experts. Thank you very much. May you go back to other.
Merci Xavier. Et
Thank you, Xavier. Thank you to you all. So I hope that this overview was useful for you to understand what the stakes were of the activity of the association. Our community is developing. We try to see how we can communicate better we've also noticed that through our projects, the issue of bonds, ties between the association, the school, and the foundation are becoming more and more decisive. And this is also a collective effort. And with Véronique, Dimitri, Xavier, Emmanuel, Xavier, and Hélène, I would like to thank warmly. Huge work has been put in all this. So I would like to applaud them for this. And I would like to finish this moral report on how dynamic the committee is. So in good governance, it self-assessed. It self-assessed itself. So last year we presented a roadmap and it allowed us to improve our scores. The commitment of everyone counts, and with an attendance rate of 79%, the committee needs to improve. Tonight you will see who the 7 members for the next 3 years are. I'm delighted to ask Jean-Paul Agnon to join me on stage. He's the president of HEC Paris. And there are quote unquote a high HEC member. So he's been this president since 2022, and he was also an administrator, a board member of the Chamber of Commerce. So we are looking forward to hearing what your takeaways are after a year as president. Welcome, Jean-Paul. Thank you, Adrien. You became the president of HEC in April last year. I think you were very familiar with the school and the association throughout your different commitments, maybe the association a bit less. So after a year as president, how do you see things? Good evening. First of all, I have to say that I'm very glad to be here. This was a formidable assignment that was entrusted in me. So I'm an elected member of the Chamber of Commerce, and I'm also part of the HEC Alumni community since 1978. And one of my takeaways is that I've seen a very rich association. Loic is leading the school in an extraordinary way. The association is vibrant thanks to you. Marguerite, Delphine, and the teams are also doing remarkable work. So there's a wealth of talents, of energies, ambitions, enthusiasm, and this is amazing, in my opinion. I know that Adrien will agree with me, and so will Loic and Olivier. If we were to better coordinate, synchronize what these 3 bodies are doing, globally, HEC would have a great power, a form of modernity, and a more powerful impact and a more powerful influence. It is not a secret to say that we're working on this, and I would like to extend my warmest thanks to Adrien. He was one of the very first ones to ask me to pull out resources to see how we can better work together to have a greater impact, to make our community more powerful. And if you allow me, Adrien, I was also thinking of the association. And I have an idea that I would like to share with you. This might be a new idea, but in a way, this is a feeling that I have, and you might share it. We are all HEC alumni here in this room. And when I studied at HEC in 1978, I studied at the school. I enjoyed my time there. I was part of different communities when I was a student there. And then I graduated. And then I was part of another community. And that was the community of HEC alumni. So in a way, and that's how I experienced it personally, I was no longer linked with the school. I was no longer interested in it. I wasn't very much interested in hearing about the school. I wasn't a major contributor to the school. And now that I am playing this role, I think there's a loss of continuity between the community of students, of HEC students, and the other community, the community of HEC alumni. So in my opinion, we could have a greater impact. HEC could be much more powerful if we were to better create this continuity between the student community and the alumni community. I do not know how to manage this. I'm sure that Adrien, who is very creative and smart, just like Marguerite, will find a solution. And I'm sure you all will as well, because there's a plethora of former presidents that will be there to advise you. But I'm convinced, and I think it will be innovative to do so, because I think all schools have an alumni community, but I will dare to say an alumni that is no longer in touch with the school, not you, because you are here tonight and you are very much active. How many former alumni? 73,000 HEC alumni. How many of those are still very much in touch or involved, engaged with the school, or contributing to the school? Not that many. So I think we should work on this continuity. It might be a simple idea, but I have a background in marketing, so I always have simple ideas. And my idea is HEC one day, HEC forever. So I don't want to say that this is the alumni club by making networking. We are not the Rotary Club. This is the HEC club, rather. So in my opinion, I think we could think of something more impactful, something that would gather the overall HEC community of over 73,000 alumni. And how many students are there at HEC school? He's talking to Dominic, of course, so I'm sorry for interrupting. How many students are there? 4,000? So you see, there are own two communities to me. On Saturday, I was at the graduation ceremony. This was an extraordinary event. It was very moving. And in my opinion, there are two communities. There should only be one, the HEC community. Some are on campus, and others used to be on campus. And an HEC member is an HEC member for life. You're not an HEC student becoming an HEC alumni. You're an HEC member, period. So I think we should keep involving alumni with the school in all areas, in terms of education, activities, impact, and contributions. Sorry, I'm taking a long time, but I do not always have this opportunity to talk to all of you. So if you agree with me, Adrien, with Marguerite, Olivier, and Loic, maybe we could work on that in the next few months to invent something new. HEC one day, HEC forever. That is a great slogan. So thank you for this vision. Thank you very much. This is the slogan of the Glenshire community. I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to copy them. So this is our project, HEC one day, HEC forever. Thank you for being so enthusiastic, Jean-Paul. And now to talk about the school projects, the campus. There's something great about to come, right? Yes, I have some cards to talk to you about it. I'm sure that some of you remember the shower, the buildings D and E, everything will change, right? Many things will change. It's been a while that we've been mentioning a campus project. Why? Because let me add something before I turn to that. I am very impressed, and that is why I'm so enthusiastic. I want us to do more because I think that HEC is powerful, has a great reputation, and has a potential impact that is extraordinary. And once again, I would like to applaud Emeric and all the school teams, all professors. They are doing an incredible job. This is extraordinary. And I invite you all here in person and all of you online to go back to the campus, take part in the school life. So in my opinion, HEC has an extraordinary impact, and this school deserves its buildings to be renovated. We all love HEC. There's this vintage dimension that we all appreciate. To say it on a positive note, but we will be very happy to renew and renovate our buildings because we have a need for modernity. We are part of a new era in 2025, 2023, in 2030. We cannot have the same buildings as when I was a student. So we need to renovate our buildings, and they need to be iconic buildings because this school deserves buildings that reflect its impact and its influence. So I have some cards here because this morning there was the board at the school. And the real estate project is moving forward. And we will have a dedicated board member with a real estate director here to launch this project on campus. The guiding plan has been finalized, and all legal dimensions have been dealt with, and the calls for applications was published on the 25th of May. So this is important, and then after a study, there will be a construction and renovation project for the next 6 years. So the call for applications is on. We've received over 100 applications. There are over 100 professionals that downloaded the file online. And on 10th of July, we will know who's applying for this project, and we will select 4 teams by September. And the goal is to have a final projects and make a final decision by the end of the year. No, that's a little bit later on in the fall of 2024, because there will be a lot of details to deal with. And then we will have a final decision for this campus renovation project. And of course, we are ambitious with the chamber, the school, the foundation, the association. We are very ambitious. This project should be the iconic project of this HEC school in the 21st century. Thank you very much, Jean-Paul Agon. Could you please give him a huge round of applause? We've talked about the association, the school. Obviously, there's one thing missing, the association with Olivier Sevilla and Delphine Colson. Please give them a round of applause. So for the foundation, there were milestones, right? You are an association, so you're counting in fundraising activities. So where are you at? The activities and what your expectations towards the community. Yes, indeed. I would like to thank Adrian for his invitation. And I would like to tell him how exceptional the relationship is between the association and the foundation. The association initiated all these projects, and the foundation became a part of it afterwards. So it means that working together is only natural, and working with the school as well. So to answer your question, of course, I want to pool all your resources. Once you've paid your membership fees to the association, there's a greater deal of things that you can do for this school. This is a remarkable school. We've launched the Impact Tomorrow campaign. It was 4 years ago. It will be over in a year's time. This is a very bold campaign. It is unique in higher education in France. We're thinking of 200 million euros as a goal, and we are on the right track to succeed. But we need to make an additional effort. We still need your contribution, your involvement. The school needs us for several reasons. The HEC Foundation means 13 million euros of project funding for the school in 2022. Half of it on equal opportunities and diversity, the rest on education and research. In other words, this is a significant contribution to the school. Let me underline one thing. I realize that as HEC alumni, we did not always know this. HEC does not receive public contributions contrary to engineering schools in this country. However, although we're fighting against Anglo-Saxon competitors that have huge fundraising, much higher than HEC, we're evolving in competitive environment. So what I've learned at the foundation, the school needs to continue to develop more structural support with fundraising activities to be able to compete and to be higher in the rankings. To do so, we need to be able to fight with the same weapon as Anglo-Saxon schools. So once you've paid your membership fees, without further ado, please join us, because there's a huge paradox that I would like to touch upon. On the one hand, we have the most beautiful foundation in higher education in France. Many envious, if not all. And we're doing so with 2,300 contributors out of the 73,000 alumni. So the potential that we have is tremendous. The school needs us, so please help us. So I will conclude with that. I'm sorry, Delphine, I might have taken too long. I wanted my message to be clear, and I think it is. Let me simply add to what you said. Donations turned into projects for the school. Some of you who were at the gala or at our convention last year met Lima and Belishta, who had just arrived from Afghanistan, who were going through difficult circumstances. Lima will go through an internship at Veolia. And I think these testimonies are crucial because it makes our fight more concrete. And this is why we need donations to change the game. And I would like to remind you that all donations count. Of course, the record donation of Philippe Fariel that paid tribute to us last week is, of course, very much important, but it is as beautiful as the 450 donations of the recent graduates as part of a class gift event. So I would like to invite you to help us change the game. If you still don't know the foundation website to give, It is called give.foundationhec.fr. And thank you for your support.
Merci.
Thank you very much to all of you. Let's forge ahead. Thank you very much.
Alors, 200 millions d'euros.
Here's the next session. After all of this, it may sound a bit boring, a bit dull, but please bear with us, especially you online. It's a safe place. It is not the most glamorous moment of the assembly, but it is so necessary to fund our activities and projects. So now
Bonsoir à tous.
mesdames, messieurs.
Ladies and gentlemen, now is turn for the second part of the least sexy part of the evening. Thank you, Arnaud. The assignment or the mission that was given to us by the association regarding the financial year 2022. I'd like to tell you a bit more about the results. We certified a young accounts in line with the French accounting rules and the results for the financial year. They also give another good thing state position of the association. They have followed all professional rules and regulations to decision. All the rules and the criteria followed are listed in the statutes. We carried out a recorded mission by respecting the accounts rules as the state authorities for the year from the 1st January to December 2022. Into articles of commerce regarding the justification of our assessment, we would like to share with you that we are assessed with these accounts by looking at the corporate nature of the accounting rules impacting all these we would like to attract your attention on the footnote regarding the net accounting value of the HEC accounts at the end of the semester. We were able to make sure actually the accounting value is below the real state value of this building. We have therefore expressed our opinion as a in accordance with the professional rules and we have also carried out the various checks and controls that are needed. There is no contradiction in the information given to the members regarding the financial statements and annual reports to the members. We would like to inform you, given the information received, the criteria that were used, that we can misleading information that we have noticed in this exercise. In to Article 6 of the Commerce Code, it is important for you to further read into this report. So, inform you, suspense, we were not any the need to make any changes or raise flags to the assembly. Thank you very much. Thank you. So now let's look at the results of the elections. I got the results some 10 minutes ago. So first of all, I would like to thank the tallies, Christian Caballo and François Caballo of the committee, and François Nicolas of the Wise Committee and Christian Morin. So some figures: 735 move on to the next one, to the seventh resolution. It was approved at 96.9%. Now, the next resolution is the sixth resolution. This is about the appointment of 7 new members to the committee. Heard the report of the appointment committee with Mike Jens and Jean-François Van expressed following the applications received by the president and as well as the interviews with all candidates. So there were 17 applications for these positions. These applications were very diverse, with 6 international applicants. We have applicants of various generations and various studies, diversity in experience, and the gender diversity with 9 men and 8 women. It's almost perfect. The decisions are made by the appointment committee met the strategic needs identified by the Exercise Association, other the internationalization, to make the UK House operational. HEC edition, the media subsidiary of the association, continue building the future of HEC culture and the future proof of the financial position of the association. The selection criteria are the same as last year. So first of all, the quality of the project set up by the applicant, his or her availability, because of course it requires some time and effort, of course, some key skills to guarantee the representation of the future committee, the commitment to HEC, and this is what they explain most of the time in their cover letter, as well as their commitment and importance in the community, and the sharing of the values of the association, such as diversity, entrepreneurship, spirit, and the committee unanimously adopted the recommendation of the appointment committee and now able to give you the names of the 7 new members. I will mention their names and then I will ask them to present. Osman Nali, age 02, Lorraine de Bournay, N00 entrepreneur and mentor to the incubator, Elisabeth Laberge, who is renewing her mandate, president of Generation Share, Nathalie Romain, age 96, she lives in London. She chaired the Reform Club. Is also a administrator. Constance Leroux, president of HEC Alumni, very active in our association. Victor Théonie is here with us, president of the Singapore chapter. He came all the way here for this specifically, age 20. And last but not least, David Vaillant, age 98. He was at BNP Paribas, co-author of the white paper biodiversity that we mentioned, and professor for sustainable finance at HEC.
Le moment que vous attendez tous, le vote pour cette sixième.
The vote for the sixth resolution is approved with, I will not dive into further details, 86% for all applicants till here, 87% for Victor Terrani, and 88% for David Vaillant. Well done to them. Without further ado, I will invite the new committee with their new members to leave the room very briefly so that they can elect their new president.
Ils vont se laisser guider par Géraldine.
Geraldine will guide them outside the room for a few minutes. And it is time now to say thank you to 5 people in particular. They counted a great deal for the association and even more. Arnaud Joubert finished his third term as a treasurer. These are the 5 outgoing members of the committee, and I would like you to give them a huge round of applause for their commitment. Etienne Carazara is following us online. Arnaud Joubert, Emmanuel Miquel, who's here with us, Alexandra Préjean, who's also online with us, and Isabelle Proust, who's also here. Thank you very much.
Avec donc un nouveau comité pour que
So we have a new committee so that HEC, one day HEC forever lives on. So a message to convey to young graduates. For many of us, there's the opportunity to be in touch with any of the 73,000 HEC alumni. And it's a duty for these 73,000 alumni to answer to their call. Within the association, there are a lot of solutions for this network to live on. And so that it is clear from a geographic point of view, we have the international chapters and the regional clubs in France. We have the professional hubs and clubs for topical reunions. And for the youngest graduation classes, they're also represented tonight. Last week, there was the ECFest event, gathering groups of musicians that train themselves on campus. I think it started in the class of 82. And here is a video for you to have a look.
Mesdames et messieurs,
Ladies and gentlemen, the committee has reached a decision. You are the oldest person in the group. You are here to convey the great messages of the community. And for the fifth time, you will welcome the new HEC Alumni President. Please give her a round of applause. I'm not tall, so I will readjust the mics. Fellow alumni, Jean-Paul mentioned continuity, the need for continuity. I do share his opinion, and that is the reason why I am delighted to tell you that Adrien remains the president of our committee. And he will be there for the service of the continuum.
Merci.
Thank you to you all. I do not have much to say. Thank you. I am very proud to continue for an additional year to be at the service of the community with all the beautiful projects and challenges that we've mentioned, and to be in touch with all of you. And I'm delighted to say that we will see each other again next year. Traditionally, we conclude this annual general meeting with the appointment of HEC of the Year. It's been 40 years that the association awards this prize to a remarkable member of the association. And this year, we have one person in particular to distinguish, and we are honored to have the HEC of the year 2023 with us, and he is Eric Lombard. As it is tradition, of course, we give a compliment before we award the prize. This HEC Man of the Year has had a political career. It is a specific career, and his career led him to be at the head of the largest financial institution of the state. Eric Lombard in 2017 became the first general director of a French institution, Caisse de dépôt et consignation, and it didn't have a public career. In 2022, he became the first general director of the Caisse de dépôt, of which the term is renewed by the government. This is a lot of renewal for an institution that was created 200 years ago. The Caisse de dépôt plays a significant role in our economic situation. Journalists say it is the right arm of the state, and with 1.3 trillion euros injected in the French economy, when working with other subsidiaries like the BPI, and one of the alumni is also the president of it, the Caisse de dépôt plays a crucial role in our economic life. Eric, you were born in Boulogne-Billancourt, and you were brought up in Billancourt. Your grandfather created the textile group de Volet, and there's a heart now instead of the heart on one of the polos. You also collect art, and you are now part of the board of directors at the Louvre. You've been part of it since February 2023. After your baccalaureate, Eric Lombard was thinking of studying engineering, but studying math only was not a joy for him. So for not giving up on humanities, he decided to study in a business school. So at the end of the 70s, A young boy with long hair arrived on the Julian Joseph campus. He was also playing rugby and was hardworking. And then his studies were marked by something specific. There were only two student unions, a right-wing one and a left-wing one with the Communist Party. He did not see himself as being part of these two. So he opened a third one by creating a left-wing party or student union that would reform the system. In 1981, when he thought he would become the CFO of an industrial group, he entered the BNP Paribas group, and he stayed there for 20 years. But he had political aspirations, and he created group work at BNP Paribas to work on Michel Rocard's candidacy to the presidential election. So profiles like him are very rare. And he was supposed to keep his position with political duties. Michel Rocard did not become a candidate, but became First Minister in 1988. Éric Lombard then joined for 4 years his government with Michel Sapin, who he was an advisor to. He was always very loyal. Eric, we were always told that you're a moving man. And after the advice of Pierre Veneman, or your professor at HEC, said that you created the merger and acquisition department at BNP Paribas. You said that your work was fascinating and addictive and fun. Then BNP became BNP Paribas after a merger. And in 2004, you changed careers and you became the head of Cardiff, the insurance subsidiary of BNP Paribas. After a few years there, after years at BNP Paribas, you became the insurer of the year to head the generally French subsidiary. You went through the crisis. And 3 years later, the insurer presented record figures. 5 billion euros in revenues. So throughout your career, you never forgot about this intimate bond that you have with HEC. Your commitment is incredible. And so far, you are part of the benefactors of the HEC Foundation. And this is an exceptional contribution. To conclude on the presentation on your career, and after a very long speech, I would like to get back to a dramatic episode of our history. In September 2001, Éric Lombard was in New York to steer the acquisition of an American bank. His office is in the World Trade Center on the 95th floor. On the 11th of September at 8:30, he has a meeting with the executive team. But the president of the bank calls him to postpone the meeting because he has to drive his son to school. At 8:45, 2 planes enter the World Trade Center towers. Luckily, Éric Lombard was not a victim. So thanks to a young New York boy, you are here with us tonight. So I would like you to give him a huge round of applause.
Un grand merci, Adrien.
Huge, warm thanks to you, Adrian. These were warm remarks. Since it's tradition, I will keep the floor. I would like to thank you all. And I would like to specifically thank you for being here because you are committed towards the school. You, Jean-Paul, Eloïc, Olivier, and everyone else. You make our community lively. And the message I would like to convey is that we have a lot of colleagues that say, okay, HEC, great, but in my opinion, this school is wonderful. I owe it a great deal in my career. The training courses that I've gotten there still inspire me. Pierre Vanniman's courses were great. We do a lot of finance at KSNDEP, especially Lindvogelu. And these classes are very much inspiring. And all the work that is done regarding those classes is crucial. What happens at the school is unbelievable and has a great value. So classes, but also networking, etc. And my professor, Pierre Neveman, when I graduated, told me, come and work with me at BNP Paribas. And along with another HEC alumni who used to be a professor, Jean-Paul Savet, you all know that BNP Paribas was a huge recruiter for HEC graduates and continues to do so. So that is a good thing. I'm very moved. You must hear it and my voice. So this is related to a certain point in time in my studies. And this is why that is so moving. Finance is the professional activity that is part of my DNA. Finance has the ability to change the world and shed a positive light on it. So we forged alliances at BNP Paribas. And I remember one day during the lockdown, we were with the Secretary General of the United Nations. And we were deeply convinced that all the extra financial reporting tools were the lever for the planet to prevent atrocious consequences for the climate change from occurring. So the Secretary General said that to our investors. And a few years ago, I was the first one to ask for Cardiff portfolio to be rated in terms of extra financial criteria. So I think finance plays a crucial role and an indispensable role to make the world evolve. Another message I would like to convey, you said I had political ambitions and political ties. The privilege at KSNDEP is that we fund local authorities and social housing. So we are lucky to be in a great country, and I worked on a very small country project with 31 people in a very small village, and there were as many authorities as there were people or inhabitants. And the optic fiber arrived there very late. And someone from the Haute-Pyrénées region was there visiting with me. There are many elected representatives that are entrepreneurs. On Friday, I was in the Eure region, and they're setting up a company that will develop renewables. And there are also regions, presidents, and managers of the largest local authority, and that is our country. And I would like to tell you one thing. Men and women who are committed in the service of others, of course, get recognition, visibility, and power in return. But I do not know one that isn't fully dedicated to their role and tasks. So in the Vienne department, they are fully committed, and I wanted to convey this message, because all political managers are dedicated to what they do. So these were the messages I wanted to convey with you, and I would like to thank you all warmly for everything that you do, and long live HEC and HEC alumni.
Alors, je vais demander
I'm going to ask to the various presidents and directors of the school, the association, and the chamber to come here next to me for a picture.
Voilà.
eh bien, c'est le moment où je passe la parole à Julie.
Thank you to the assistants and the general directors, and I would like to invite all the staff of the association to join Adelia and Marguerite and please stand up to welcome them on stage. I'm going to say a few of their names. Annick and Laurence have been with us for over 30 years. Sophie is celebrating her 25th General Assembly with us, marking over 20 years. And we have an entire team of people enriched year after year. Thank you and congratulations to all. Please give them a standing ovation.
Il en manque un.
There's one person missing.
Vous avez le droit de prendre des photos.
You can take pictures as well. Thank you very much.
Un immense merci à
A wholehearted thank you to each and every one of you for attending this annual meeting.